Hey guys, good evening and welcome to Chalk is Chic. I'm here live on the camera. I thought I would go live for a second. So we are going to be doing a project that's slightly bigger than we normally do. So I'm going to get this pulled up really quick so I can see it. Hopefully. Facebook has been a little bit wonky with lives and such, I will say. I haven't done one since they changed a whole bunch of stuff, and I still don't see where they actually changed anything, but we're going to get this shared really quick and get it posted on our VIP page. But I hope y'all are doing great. I thought to myself today, whenever I was like out and about having to get groceries, I truly was like, super excited about going and doing whatever, because I don't get a lot of human interaction, just simply because of my, my job. I don't get to go out and like go see my son. I don't get to go out and go venture to the grocery to go inside the grocery store. So I have to depend on a lot of people to do things for me, which is like, my grocery shopper at my grocery pickup and stuff like that. So I got out of the house today to go get groceries, and I was just like, you know what? Maybe tonight I'll go live on Facebook and I'll be on Facebook, because I know I'm craving some human interaction. Like, my dogs are great and all, but after a while, guys, it does get pretty old. But I am working with our big, gigantic 18 by 18 Sylvie frame. This has had this design on it since, yikes, probably November, December, something like that. Hey Mel, hey Cindy. We are going to get this sprayed with water and get it cleaned pretty quickly, because remember, we can use our board scraper, which I'm super stoked about. I haven't used it on a big board yet, so I'm excited about it. But we're going to do a really simple chalk today. I'm just going to use one chalk paste color just to show y'all how easy it is to get done with one of these big ones. But this is such a great Bible verse, especially for right now. I love the fact that Chalk Couture does support biblical references in their transfer. That's like one of my favorite things about this company. They're not scared to put that out there, and it's just, I love it. So all I'm going to do is use our scraper, hey Cynthia, and get this scraped off. Like I said, this design has been on there at least probably November, if I had to guess. I'd have to go back and look at live. But November, December, it might have been December. Regardless, it's been about 3 months that it's been on there. And it's coming off like there's nobody's business. So all you have to do with the board scraper is scrape it. It works with our boutique frames, and it works with our gallery. Our gallery is our Aiden frame that comes with the designer kit, and then the boutique frame is like what I'm working with. Hey Melinda. But we are just going to get this junk off of our board. I call it junk. It's just chalk paste. Hopefully y'all can see it a little bit. But I kind of just get all my chalk paste to a corner or to the center. I didn't do a great job here, but that's okay. And I just kind of get it wiped off the board. It's almost like cleaning up dog or cat throw up. It's like that chunky stuff. It's just weird. So I'm going to show you what I'm left with on my board though. There is a ton of ghosting. I'm sure that y'all can see that. I can't really tell what y'all can see because the camera's away from me and everything's delayed. But there is a lot of ghosting. So what I'm going to do is use a board eraser. And I had somebody ask me the other day how long these last. They last a long time. The problem is that Kim takes one out, and then I take it into the other room to clean, and I forget, and I leave it in the other room, and then when I'm live, I need a board eraser. So that's why you see me opening up so many. Not because they don't last long, just because I forget to bring them back into my craft room. So all I'm going to do is take our board eraser, and I am just going over this pretty gently. Used to, whenever we cleaned, we had to clean our whole entire board with this, but we don't anymore. The only time I'm really using this anymore is to clean a transfer if I need to, because it does get you some of the, like all the color discoloration on the teal part. It does get some of that off. And then the other part that I use it for is ghosting. So that part that I showed you where you could still kind of see the design, that's what I'm working to get off. So our board is fairly good. I'm going to go over it, and you can see there's all your chalk paste that wasn't off your board yet. So what I'm going to do is take a baby wipe. Hey, Heather. I'm going to take a baby wipe, and I'm going to go over my board again. Now, I use the baby wipes that only have water in them. I don't use the one that has any aloe or anything like that. You don't want anything like that on your board. But I do use the water baby wipes. And heavens to Betsy, I need to order some more of those. I don't know about y'all, but hey Deanna, I hope you're doing well, friend. I don't know about y'all, but I have tried to get some stuff off of Amazon, and they have super duper failed me lately. So I may need to go ahead and order baby wipes now versus later. So there you can see some more Chalkology paste that's coming off. So all I do is I take my fuzzing towel. Now I use, and that one needs washing, but I use the minky side. So we have two sides of the fuzzing towel. We have the tag side, and we have what I call the minky side, or the side that you would go buff a car with if you were waxing it. And all I do is go over my board. This is a pretty giant board, so you do want to make sure that you get it cleaned off really, really well and make sure it's dry. That is a must, because y'all, it's not going to do you any favors if you don't dry it well. So we are going to get this dry. And I'm just going over, I'm trying not to shake the camera, which is why I'm moving a little bit slow. So I'm going to hold this up and see if you can see it. I can see it here, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera. And it will take me a minute to see if y'all can see it. But there is ghosting still on my board, which means it needs one more wipe down, or at least I could see it. So I'm going to spray my board one more time. And again, you have to keep in mind this design was on there since at least December, if not before December. So I'm going to take my clean side, not that side that has all the nasty chalk on it. And I'm just going to go over my board one more time, because the ghosting's there just because that chalk paste sat in one spot for so long, but it comes off and it's picture perfect. But I could see it once I dried my board, which is why I'm going over this one more time, because I'm probably going to hang this up in my house. I don't know that I'm going to keep it on there forever and ever, but right now, this verse means a lot to a lot of people, and I think it just needs to be up in my house for a minute. Okay, so we're letting that set for just a second. Like I said, I'm going to use one Chalkology paste color. I'm a firm believer. Oh, that's sad. I'm a firm believer that, one, you can make a lot of things great and beautiful with just one color. Y'all know how much I love color. I obviously have a chalk paste problem, but we're going to use one chalk paste color, and I think I'm going to do Forget Me Not for this one. I just want something simple. I want to show you that you don't have to have a bazillion colors to make it beautiful, and it's going to take us like just a matter of a few seconds to do. But there is your chalk paste, kind of got all separated. Hey, Alyssa, hope you are doing well. We're going to get this stirred up really quick, and it's quite thick, so it is falling off of our stir stick, but it is not falling off to my liking, I guess you could say. It needs a little bit more love. So we are just going to get this stirred up. And you just want it to be like sour cream or yogurt. If it's sticky like peanut butter, it's way, way too thick. Hey, Jerry. So we are just, that is our great consistency right there. And see, this is the things that you can't see whenever I have my project facing down. Maybe we'll have to do some more lives this way, because that's fun. That's fun to hold that up for y'all. Okay, so we are going to take one paste color, and the whole reason behind that is just to show you don't have to have a lot to get started. You don't have to have a lot to make everything gorgeous, and this is going to take us just a matter of a few minutes. But this Bible verse, again, super stoked that Chalk Couture is absolutely wonderful, and they have multiple transfers with Bible verses. But this one just, I don't know. We're going to do this in some other fashion whenever I can go actually to stores and such. But this one speaks volumes to me. It says, "Mightier than the waves of the sea is his love for you." And it is Psalms 93:4. And guys, I don't know about you, but sometimes I need reminders about these things. And I'm super glad to be able to chalk that for y'all tonight. So I'm going to show you what I do with my big transfers. You can see that this is gigantic. It's the size of my torso. I mean, it is big. So I have to be sure that I provide ample movement with it. I'm just going to put this underneath my board so it doesn't sway on me, because that would be no bueno. So what I do with the big transfers, this is a size D. So we have sizes A, B, C, and D, and E. This is a D. It's our next to the biggest one. It's an 18 by 18. So it's quite big. Y'all know I have like 10-year-old hands. And all I do when I work with these transfers is I take half of it, take it off its backer sheet. Hey, Shelly. And this is sometimes the hardest part. I don't know why. But I take half of my transfer, and I am just going to do it in halvesies, okay? So I've gotten half of it off the backer sheet. Half of it is still there. My point with doing all this is, and this is one of the things I teach people, you don't want to take a transfer off willy-nilly and get it stuck together, because I promise you I've done it before and it's no fun. This is why I teach this method with the big transfers. But I pull half of it over, I keep holding down my transfer right there, and keep pulling the backer sheet off. So now my sticky part of my transfer is backwards, right? I'm just going to stick that behind me so I don't ruin it. So my sticky sheet, stickiness is facing upward towards the ceiling, which is good. You want it that way. The cool thing about our fuzzing towels is, one, they're 12 by 18, so they're not too terribly big where it's going to take up a whole bunch of space, but they're big enough for this size transfer. So I take one fuzzing towel and I stick it right there. Remember that when you fuzz, you want to fuzz with the tag side. Tag for tackiness, you want to get rid of some of that tackiness. That's how I remember it. And then you want to take the other fuzzing towel and put it right there. So now, my friends, there's no way possible, unless I'm really dumb and do something stupid down here, that this is going to stick together. So we're going to take this, we're going to flip it over. And here I have my transfer. So this is where the fun for me begins. I just like to take half my transfer off. I leave the other half down. I put it back down. And I'm going to fuzz this quite a few times. This is a brand new transfer, so it's pretty sticky. But all the while, I'm not letting go of any control over the transfer. The transfer's not going to win. I'm going to have control over it, and it's going to get fuzzed properly. So this is how I do it. You're going to see designers do it a couple of different ways. This is the safe way for me, especially if you're new to Chalk Couture or you're working with a big transfer for the very first time. I know it took me probably almost a year to do this size transfer before I was not freaked out about it. Now, I will tell you, while we're talking about these transfers, if by some stretch of the imagination you get excited and you want to chalk and you accidentally stick it together, the first thing that you cannot do is panic. Like, you cannot panic if your transfer sticks together, no matter how big or small it is. Okay? And I have done it. I have done it. But you cannot panic. What you want to do is take that transfer to the nearest water source. Now, if it's a small one and you have your bucket of water in your craft room, go for it. You can use that. But if it's a big one like this, I will be hightailing it to my guest bathroom that's right next door and getting this pulled apart. But what you have to do is submerge this in water. You want cool to very, very lukewarm water. You do not want hot water. That is a big, big no-no because it will ruin your transfer. But you want cool to lukewarm water, and you want to make sure that you submerge it. You got to leave it in there, let it do its thing before you start trying to pull it apart. Once you submerge the transfer in the water, then, my friends, you can totally start barely pulling it apart. You have to work very, very gently because this is a material. It's like your stretchy pants you wear to Easter dinner. If you pull on it, it's going to stretch, and you got to be really super duper careful. So I fussed the heck out of this several times. We are going to do our project now. So here's where I will take off one fuzzing towel. I'll put it to the side. I'm going to go ahead and take off my other fuzzing towel, and I kind of have this up in the air, and I just take it, because this is big, guys. I mean, this is a big transfer, but I just take it, line it up, and put it on my board. Now, thankfully, this transfer is got a lot of swirly words, and it's got a lot of swirly words that are kind of catty corner, so it doesn't really matter if it's straight or not, but we are pretty good. If you look at that before I push it down, we're pretty good. So what you want to do is, one, make sure that you don't have any fuzzies underneath any of your lettering. Now, I'm a big believer in filling my letters. That is just me. That's how I roll. You can do this one or two ways. I will show you both. But I'm lifting it up because we kind of didn't put that down all the way completely. I tend to do both, especially when I'm working on a transfer with words. But I will go over the words, making sure that all of them are pushed down well. I do it with my finger. That's just my preference. It's probably nursing that makes me, because that's the way we roll. We don't just look at things, but we have to examine them, and so that's where I probably get all this from. But I go over my letters just to make sure I don't have any little bitty bumps that I can feel. One of the reasons for that too is if you're using a squeegee, guys, you're not going to feel a bump necessarily unless it's a major bump. But when I'm using my fingers, I can feel if there's like a small piece of fuzz that I couldn't detect normally with my squeegee. So that is one of the reasons why I do. Now, I'm going to be using our 4-inch handled squeegee on this one just because it's a very big transfer. You can use a small squeegee like this. And if you wanted to use a squeegee to make sure it's laid down, all you would do is take a clean, dry squeegee and go over it just like this, okay? It is humanly possible to do that. I just choose not to. So like I said, we're going to use one chalk paste color. I'm not going to go all elaborate. I do have some dreams about this transfer, but unfortunately they involve going to a craft store, which I cannot do right now. So we're going to do it on the Sylvie, and then we will regroup when all of this quarantine situation is over, and we'll do this transfer again. So I'm going to use Forget Me Not. I'm just going to take some dollops of Chalkology paste, put them at the very tip top, and I'm probably going to have to reapply halfway down, almost certainly. So what I did in the middle, I'm not going to not use, and I'm just going to take my big squeegee, and we're just going to squeegee on and squeegee off. It literally takes you just a matter of a few minutes to get this done. Not even that long using this 4-inch handled squeegee. Now, if you were using a smaller squeegee for this one, I probably would break it up a little bit because you definitely don't want to dry. And that Y down here at the bottom may not be good, but we'll see what it looks like when we get done. It just looks like it has an air pocket in it. So all I'm doing is squeegeeing on and squeegeeing off. I have all that excess. I'm going to put it back in my chalk paste jar. Going over this one more time just to get any excess off, which I don't have a ton. And we're ready to do our pull. This is where it does get tricky because you do have to pull kind of in one fell swoop, top to bottom. And it does not look horrible. So What I always do when I'm working with these, just because they're so gigantic, I don't have a bucket of water that is this big. I always just hang them on my craft room table. They should stick. If you have dogs or cats or anything, you may want to be a little bit careful, just because I know that Bailey Winston likes to come over here and smell on all of my transfers and do all kinds of weird things. He walked away with a carrot the other day from one of my transfers from the cottontail farms that we were doing. So if you have dogs or anything, you just want to be careful. But I hang it on my craft room table till I get done with the live, and then I go clean it in the guest bathroom. So there is our amazing Sylvie frame. It is our 18 by 18 frame, but isn't it cool that you can use one paste color? You don't have to get fancy. We will get fancy with this design for sure. Once our little quarantine-ish stuff is over, because I have some dreams about this one. It's just not something I can do while we're in quarantine mode. But I hope that y'all have an amazing day. It is, cannot believe the weekend is here already. But can't believe the weekend is here already. But it's going to be okay. No matter where this video finds you, if you are in self-quarantine or whatever the case may be, I hope that y'all stay healthy and happy. I know that this is rough for a lot of people. And all I can say is my prayers and thoughts are out to a lot of people. Our healthcare workers that are working the front lines of this, I'm fortunate enough with my job that we're trying to keep it off of our campus, and I'm not necessarily exposed like some of the other people and some of my friends are here in the city of Memphis. So my hat is off to y'all. I definitely am saying prayers for all of our first responders and our people that are working the front lines. And guys, it's just so important for us to all stay safe, wash your hands. But it's not just a matter of safety and healthy. It's just a matter of kind of just being mentally okay too, because this is hard for a lot of people. So check on the people that you love. Check on your old folks. Check on your parents if they're still around. And just be safe and make smart decisions. But all of us together can make a big, big, huge difference and a huge, tremendous impact on what is just an unfortunate circumstance right now. So we'll look back at this a few months from now and be like, whoa, we survived the coronavirus. And we did. It's just going to take all of us together, working together. But don't forget this. Mightier than the waves of the sea is his love for you. And he truly loves each and every one of us. And I hope and pray that you find peace during this time, because I know it's hard for a lot of folks. I'm going to go wash the transfer and go snuggle with some pups for the evening, but I hope y'all have a good rest of your evening. I look forward to talking with y'all very soon, tomorrow to be precise. But thank y'all so much for watching, and I hope you have a blessed and safe night. Stay safe, everybody.